All right, I am pleased to present Jorge Garcia. George is an agricultural pest control supervisor for the California Department of Food and Agriculture's Citrus Pest and Disease Prevention Division. He has been working for the state of California for over 16 years, and he currently oversees the regulatory activities for the division in LA County. This presentation will provide updates on the current state of the fatal plant disease called Huanglongbing, threatening California's citrus, and the pest that can spread it, the Asian citrus psyllid. The presentation will provide tips on how to identify the pest and disease, information on the Huanglongbing quarantines in Southern California, and best practices on how to prevent the spread of the disease and pest to safeguard California's cherished citrus heritage.
Good evening, everyone. Bear with me, it's my first time doing this. They said they needed a volunteer. I said, I'll do it. The presentation was put together by our outreach. Just general information on the pest, the disease itself, but definitely afterwards we could do some questions and answers. If I don't have that answer for you, I could definitely find someone to answer that particular question. I oversee LA County tree removals, treatment, and I don't do a lot of the quarantine. Like, it was a little mistypo on that.
Here's your slide control.
Oh, cool. Just go to the right type thing?
Yeah, right.
Okay. And tree removals that have been positive for the HOV. I oversee that. We have to go and remove them when people with homeowners don't want us to do it. We have to enforce a warrant. So we show up with a court order and we remove the trees because it's a public nuisance at that point. You know, every time a psyllid feeds off of that infected tree, he'll continue to infect all the neighboring trees. So Asian citrus psyllid and Huanglongbing, which is a disease, citrus greening disease. This is showing you a little bit of lemons and the issues. We have found it throughout California. The disease is, oh, yes. Oh, sorry. The disease itself is not all over California. The psyllid is, though. It's pretty much past San Francisco type thing. The disease mainly, there's actually a lot of it in Orange County. That's probably our biggest one that we have. But we're in Riverside, San Bernardino. Santa Paula is our most further one in Ventura. The big impact on this is the fact that the economical impact it could have on us is if, like Florida lost, packing houses, people lost jobs when they were overtaken by this disease and this pest itself. The Asian citrus psyllid. Here it just gives you an example of how it looks like. The size of it, if you have a dime, the ear on that, that's pretty much what the adult size of that pest is. On the tree, it's not hard to find. At a 45-degree angle, we'll be standing like that. I haven't seen some so heavily infested lately. We do treatments in the area, but potentially you could find something like that. Normally it's just like one standing around type thing. ACP nymphs, which is kind of part of the life cycle. You could identify it by its waxual tubing, and these are, if the psyllid itself is, that small, that's like maybe half the size of that. To find one on its own, it's not that common. You always find a few. I don't get out to the field as much anymore. So I don't really get to observe these anymore. That's pretty much how it's identified, by the waxual tubes, little red dots on the front of it. Where should I look for the ACP on the tree? Honestly, this ACP can be found anywhere on the tree. There's no particular part for the adult. It just kind of goes around. Actually, I'm in school and trying to further my career through the environmental science side, and I did a little mini presentation about the psyllid and their mating habits type thing. At nighttime, they don't mate, but the year round, they're continuous mating, which is making it so hard. We're just trying to suppress the pest. We can't really eradicate it because most pests during the winter, they're dormant, whether it's fruit flies or something of that nature, or you got Japanese beetle, they have their seasons, so you target those when they're different time frames, but the psyllid, it's year round. So there's no actual stopping the psyllid. It's just suppressing the numbers, preventing from spreading the disease from tree to tree. Nymphs and eggs typically found on tender new leaves. Best way to prevent the spread is to protect trees to prevent the spread, to protect citrus trees from the ACP. Huanglongbing, it has, this is the citrus greening disease, kills the trees, has no cure, not harmful to humans, and it could take about 2 to 5 years to show the symptoms on the tree. So a lot of things that we come across a lot when we approach homeowners that, your tree is infected, it looks healthy. It's still gonna, good fruit's gonna come about, and we come across a lot, which is how we have to end up using, other means to be able to take those trees out that are infecting the community. But your fruit tree will be good, but the problem that right there and then, it's a source for the psyllid to continue to infect all the other trees in your neighborhood. Citrus trees infected with HOV will be bitter, inedible, may not fully ripen, and will to lose their symmetrical appearance. Actually, we have some more pictures on the next slide. HOV symptoms, the thickened corky veins on leaves, blotchy, asymmetrical leaves. So this has definitely been there for a while. When the vein starts yellowing, the asymmetrical pretty much means most leaves, when there's, we can't identify it just by looking at it. We do survey, we'll submit samples that look like it, because this could be nutrition deficiency, so none of our inspectors could tell you, oh yeah, you have it. Oh no, your tree is healthy. It has to be sent to a lab and then do PCR testing to see if it has a disease itself. Current states of the ACP and HOB. More than 8,284 residential citrus trees have been confirmed with the HOB and removed throughout the Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, and San Diego and Ventura counties. And to be honest, probably about 50% is Orange County. ACP has been detected throughout the state. Southern California is considered generally infested with ACP. Sporadic detections of ACP have occurred in Central Valley, Central Coast, Northern California. All these are not considered generally infested. We get one here, one there. We'll trigger a treatment to try to contain it in that little zone. I mean, you still get them here and there type thing, but it's pretty much LA, Orange are the biggest ones. And San Diego has some, San Bernardino has some, Riverside has some, and our latest one was Santa Paula in Ventura County. Yes.
Has it invaded the Central Valley groves yet?
The psyllid is in the Central Valley groves, but not the disease itself. So if the disease didn't exist, we really wouldn't care about the pest itself. It's just another pest. It would be another pest in California that just causes some damage to the tree. But it's the mixture of both that makes it dangerous to citrus trees and how it spreads. HOB quarantine areas are currently established. As you can see, those green spots, I didn't make this, but it looks like those are fine sites that we found over the last years. Our first detection, it was in 2012 in Hacienda Heights. One tree wasn't detected. We did a survey. Back then it was 800 meters around the fine site. We treated every 6 months and nothing else came about until 2015. We found another one in San Gabriel, a random one through our random survey that we do. And once that one started, again, same thing, 800 meters and more started. There was way more in there. Again, this is it's hard to detect, no, they're tiny. I don't think it was something that was really looked at, through the years. It wasn't on the map of pests that were affecting California. But after 2015, it just kind of blew up. From LA to Orange County for a couple of years. And then we started getting those other ones going eastbound. And like I said, I think last year it was Ventura, The year before that, we started finding those few in San Diego area down there. What can you do? Don't move your citrus plants, leaves, or foliage in and out of quarantine areas across state or international borders. Keep it local. For me, local means within your neighbors, always free of leaf and stems. It's best. I think a lot of these, like Ventura, most likely it's homeowners that said, "Oh, you know what? I got this lemon tree. My my daughter in Ventura has a nice little spot to plant it over there." And they took that tree over, and the still has been over there. It's just been no disease, and that's most of how most of these diseases are introduced in California. Someone from Florida might have came over visiting, brought a couple of trees for their in-laws, for their brother, sister, and they just introduced a new pest, a new disease into California. Inspect trees monthly whenever watering and pruning trees. The trees, if you ever see symptoms, you could call our 1-800-491-1899. It's our hotline for the state. They handle all different type projects that we work on, but you could just tell them, you know what, I think my tree might have HOV disease, and they'll contact the local office to make arrangements to go out and take sample of your tree. Of course, these only sample for that disease. So if it has something else, you know, the lab's not gonna, well, it has this, you know, it has this or that. It just looks for that disease. Cooperate with your agricultural officials conducting detection and eradication efforts. That's more when we come around for treatment, when we come around because your tree wasn't positive, you know, it's great help to allow us to enter and, you know, do our job. A lot of people, before when this started, I was the one that would approach the homeowners and your tree was found to have the disease. And, you know, you come across a lot of stories, you know, and I know I would be hurt if I've taken care of a tree for like 20, 30 years, and then they tell me, hey, it's dying, I need to pull it out. You know, so it's not easy, you know, we understand that, but we do come across a lot of people that are just, no, you're not taking it, it's healthy, it looks fine, you know, but we'll bring the lab results and then they'll still be hesitant about it, you know, just, you know, but in the long run, they're just affecting the community. But now then remove that tree. Only purchase plants from reputable, licensed, and local nurseries. I don't deal with regulatory, but I hear stories like people in their backyard just like order some and they just have like a bunch of trees just growing, and that's not reputable. That's where the diseases come from, you know, when they just kind of order, I don't know if you want to call it black market online for trees. Report any potential ACP HOV sightings to the CDFA pest hotline, like I was telling before, 1-800-491-1899. Additional best practice, when grafting, use only registered budwood with source documentation. From the Hacienda Heights find, it was a grafted tree. I didn't partake. I was still kind of young in CDFA at that time. But they think that that person ordered that bud from I don't know where, and they think that that's where it came from. That one at least. Actually, Hacienda Heights, 5 years later, we detected an additional tree, like 10 houses down, I believe it was. Biocontrol. We have a lab in a biocontrol lab in Riverside currently, and pretty much they get these little guys out all over California. I don't know the exact route. I think they do mainly around routes, like five freeway stuff that's going from one place all the way to the other. I think the border they do, but it's that Taramaxia rheata. It's a little wasp that'll attack the ACP while it's in its nymph stage. It kind of lays its eggs inside of it. Realistically, we do the best we can. Like biocontrol would be an outstanding choice to do full time instead of, you know, spraying insecticides. Unfortunately, to rear these and to, you know, you would have to flood all California with that. It just wouldn't be economical. It's not cheap. From what I hear, it's not cheap to rear these little guys. Something to put out was spray around trees to control ants. Having the ants affects these guys, which then in return means you're not going to control the ACP. These are some resources. I'm not sure if they were sent out here for you guys to take home. Just how to inspect your trees and that type of information. Did you guys get these? No, I think they were supposed to send over some of these flyers for you guys to have. I'll check on that. Reporting to agricultural officials, some little general contact information like we discussed. That's our the state line, 1-800-491-1899. The CaliforniaCitrusTrade.org is our website as well. A lot of information that you can find there, not just on this pest, but other pests as well. And then the County Agriculture Commissioner's Office is always a good resource for information.